Hi everyone, this is Priscilla coming at you from Tacoma, Washington, and I just wanted to share with you my own personal home practice. And if you have a hammock and you want to join along, let's get it going. You can find your own favorite playlist on Spotify if that works for you, or you can use any one of mine. And yeah, we're going to focus a little bit on working some trauma and grief out of the body through using a hammock. Awesome. All right, let's begin. We're going to start with finding the very front edge. Give your hammock a nice big wave, shake it out. If there's any twists, any wrinkles, any folds, just undo them, unravel. I just got a few twists this morning. Once you have your front edge, we're going to place the thumb on the inside, turn towards the front of the room. You'll have to identify your own rooms, and I will be using rights and lefts because you're watching from home and I'm not there to guide you. So we're going to have to get really good with identifying our rights and lefts. So maybe you want to write on your right hand right, on your left hand left, on your wrist, if you have a hard time with rights and lefts, but we're going to really identify those hands. So hold up your right hand. Hold up your left hand. Get to know them. All right. So, grabbing a hold of about 6 gathers. Take a step below the plumb line. Our plumb line is our center of gravity that's always right between the 2 connection points. Push down, come up onto your toes, sit yourself inside, bringing the hammock to the back of the knees. Once we're in, we're going to give our hammock a nice big hug. Filling our hearts with gratitude at the fact that we have a hammock in our homes. How amazing is that? And we're going to reach the hands up, grab one of the side sails, whichever one you like. We're going to slide the hands down towards the hip, press the hammock away, creating this tension for a tension press. Lift your left leg or whichever leg you have closest towards your hands and kick it up and over, doing this kick switch. Press the edges to the backs of the knees. Use your hands to grab the edges that surround whichever knee you want to start with. I'm going to start with my right knee. Grabbing that edge, I lift my leg, bend the knee, and trap my heel, extending straight out. Doing the same on the other side. Grabbing those edges, lift the leg, bend the knee, trap the heel, and extend. If you feel off-centered, you can place your hands below your buttocks. Give yourself a little lift. Situate as needed. You should be even on both sides. And from here, we bend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet together, taking rest in womb. I invite you to close your eyes. Take this time to settle in. Notice all surroundings. Notice the sounds wherever you are. Just observing. Becoming aware of whatever is here for you today in this moment. Letting go of any judgment or criticism. Letting go of anything to do or place to be. This is your time. And however much the mind wants to race or attach, or maybe wherever you are at home, you're feeling pulled to break away from this moment. Just allow yourself. See what would happen if you allowed yourself to remain in this stillness. As if you were standing on the side of a street, a busy street, watching cars pass you by. The cars are like our distractions and our thoughts. And we're just observing, remaining still, finding peace within the chaos. And if one of those cars pulls over, opens the door, and invites you in, just politely say, "No, thank you. I'm good right here, in the now, in this stillness." As it is in stillness that we find presence. And just begin to breathe that peace in. Nice deep breath. And as you exhale, release any tension, any fears, any worries, any stresses. Continuing to breathe in peace, faith, courage. And exhale long out the mouth, releasing any stressors. You can do this as many times as you would like. Just beginning to notice the gentle sway of the hammock, this feeling of floating, weightlessness. Finding that trust as you know that you are held. You can trust the hammock. Trust your connections. Know that you are deserving of this moment. Just floating and free. Allow your whole body to become heavy, relaxing from the top of the head, relaxing through the eyebrows, letting that little worry frown in between the eyebrows smooth out. And I invite you to give a nice big smile this morning, working those zygomatic muscles, our smile muscles. Even smiling with your eyes and noticing the shift one smile can bring. Holding that smile. And then begin to soften. Allow the jaw to have a little wiggle. Perhaps swirl the tongue around the roof of the mouth and let the tongue take rest in the lower palate. Teeth separated. Jaw relaxed. Be a nice deep breath into those shoulders and letting the shoulders soften down away from the ears. Down the back. Arms becoming heavy. Back of the hands resting over the thighs or the knees, wherever is comfortable for you. Palms facing up to be in a receiving position, or palms down if you need to ground a little bit more today. Just checking in with your own energy. Softening the belly, the hips, the legs, relaxing all the way down to the tips of the toes. Give all of your weight to the hammock. Letting go just a little bit more. I invite you to bring one hand over your heart, the other hand over the belly. Just noticing and observing the breath. It's the quality of the breath. Short, shallow. Are we living in this state of survival? Perhaps we can extend that breath, breathing in through the nose and filling the belly, expanding, bringing that breath all the way up into the lungs, expanding the lungs and the rib cage east-west, coming all the way up into the chest, maybe even all the way up to the top of the head. And then exhale long out the mouth. Continue this breath, your own pace, your own pattern. Just trying to get as much fresh oxygen in as you can. Think about a balloon. As you inhale, you begin to expand, filling that balloon, the belly, the lungs, the chest, all the way up. And when you can't fill up with any more fresh air, exhale and deflate that balloon, letting all of that toxic energy, anything no longer serving, just be released. You can even think of this contraction where the belly is drawing back towards the spine as you exhale. So you have no more air to exhale. And again, going your own pace, breathing in, filling the belly, the lungs, the chest, and exhaling long, audible breaths out the mouth. You're going to do this just a few more rounds, finding your own rhythm, really feeling that breath. I invite you to take one more breath just like that, expanding and contracting. Allow both hands to come over the heart, stacking one hand on top of the other, and beginning to fill your heart center with gratitude. Gratitude can be as small as the fact that you are alive today. You woke up. You have this breath. Gratitude to this body, this vessel that gets us around in the world. Send yourself love and compassion, knowing that you are filled with unlimited value. You are amazing, and you are a gift. Just think to yourself for a moment in time, past, present, or future, a moment of extreme gratitude, joy, love, whatever comes to mind. And imagine that you're stepping into this moment, feeling all of those beautiful feelings. And then bring to mind yet another moment that you're grateful for, past, present, or future. And stacking this moment onto the last, feeling the heart expanding with even more gratitude. Knowing that it is okay to feel good. Training the body and the mind to know that it is okay to feel good. The more we help to allow ourselves to feel good, we help others feel good as well. I ask you to bring to mind one more moment of gratitude, stacking this moment on top of the last, feeling your heart expanding with this golden light of gratitude, love, take a nice deep breath in. Soften the hands. Notice how you feel. And perhaps take this moment to set an intention for your practice or for your day, whatever that intention may be, stating this intention in a I am statement. Whatever it is that your heart truly desires, maybe you're desiring health, well-being. So you could say to yourself, for example, I am healthy. I am strong. I feel alive. State silently to yourself your intention 3 times. Breathing it in and letting go of any limiting beliefs along the way. Slowly begin to flutter your eyes open, just taking in all the colors, all sensations. Listening to all sounds. And accepting all that is here for you in this moment. This is your time to reconnect the body and the mind back together. Begin to extend the legs nice and wide. Circle the toes round and round, working out any kinks in those ankles. Sending gratitude to our feet for all that they do. Switching directions in your own time. Pointing the toes, flexing the feet. Engaging what we call Pada Bandha, the energy of the feet. And then we're going to bring our hands to heart center like a prayer. Give them a little rub. Getting that energy. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Sit up nice and tall and feel this lengthening from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Slide the back of the hands down the back edge, letting just your wrists press against that back edge. Spread the fingers wide, flex the feet, sit tall. And on your inhale, feel that lengthening. As you exhale, press the hands back into that back edge, flexing the feet, opening wide. The shoulders are in alignment with the wrists. So one long line from fingertips all the way up to the shoulders. We're opening wide as we can, continuously pressing into that back edge. Keep your breath moving here. Always important to use the breath as your greatest tool, your greatest guide. Every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, open just a little bit wider, pressing back. You're going to feel this nice opening through the hips, through the shoulders. Just do your best. No better, no less. If you feel shaking or trembling, that is a good sign. We have a lot of traumas to work out of our bodies these days. So let those traumas just shake on out. So nice to know that we don't really have to do all this deep dive work. We can really help the body release through the breath, through movement, through being with whatever is here. Keep breathing. See if you can open just a little bit wider. Give it all you got and hold for 3. 2. 1. Soften in your own time. Let go of all effort and find your breath. Begin to bend your right knee, drawing your heel in towards the groin. Hands together like a prayer. Reach up, lengthen through that spine. Once again, sit tall. And look to that sliver of light, that opening to your right. Dive the hands through like you're diving into a swimming pool. And then open the arms out to a T. You're saying, look at me. Here I am. You're going to adjust this edge so you can use your hand to push that edge right behind the shoulder below the armpit. It's going to rest and give a deep massage into the lymph zone. From here, this might feel like enough for you today, and that's okay. Always monitor your resistance with everything we do in this class. I am not going to be in your home, unfortunately, to guide you, but I trust that you know your body, so really listen and honor where you're at. It is all about form over flexibility. The flexibility will follow. So give yourself love and patience and time. If it feels okay for you in your body, we're going to bend this knee, letting the heel kick back like you're trying to kick your own butt. So again, the leg is extended. We bend the knee and try to kick our own butt, coming into our yin-yang position. From here, we're going to hang heavy and find the breath. You're going to feel a nice release starting to happen right behind the glutes. We're getting a release for the piriformis muscle. That is the muscle that we typically sit on for a lot of our days, especially with how much we've been at computers. So allow yourself, if you feel like you need to give some little ass taps and some little taps along the way, just allow yourself to give massages if you need, whatever is here for you. And then let the arms just become heavy. Let the head become heavy and soft. And find your breath. Breathing into all sensations. And allowing yourself to just be with whatever is here. Offering the ultimate compassion. Letting go of any resistance here, as what we resist will persist. When we stay in flow, we begin to grow. Breathing into any tight spaces, sending them love, compassion, and just letting go. If you notice that you're tightening or clenching, just notice. And then bring that intention to soften and relax. Imagining that you are like a rag doll. Dead weight. Letting the hammock do all of the work for you. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, imagine the breath just sweeping away any discomfort. And as you exhale, let it all go, getting heavier. Holding for 2. One. And slowly we'll make our way back up. Option to tuck the chin to chest and round through the spine using your core here, or you can grab an edge and pull yourself back into the hammock, whatever feels best. We're going to extend the legs, take a little breather, totally normal if you feel a little lightheaded after that one. And we got the other side to go. Of course, we want to find balance with everything that we do. So beginning to bend the left knee, heel drawing in towards the groin. Take your time into each pose. There's not a race to get into the pose. Really feel every movement. Hands together like a prayer. Inhale, reach up, lengthen. Feel that lengthening as if the spine is being pulled upward to the sky. Sitting as tall as you've ever sat. And then taking a dive through that sliver of light, open the arms out to a T and adjust your hammock so it's right behind the shoulder, below the armpit. Again, check in as each side is different. If it feels good to stay here, just stay here. If you want to go deeper, bend that knee, heel kicks back towards the buttock. And we're going to hang heavy for yin-yang. Getting that nice balance in the hips. Release through that piriformis muscle right behind the glutes. This is also a great way To send love to our low back. So if anybody has back problems, you're welcome. This one is amazing. Again, continue to remember to use that breath. The hammock is going to be giving you this deep tissue massage right below the armpit, right into the lymph nodes, giving this ability for us to release any toxins. With every breath, we get heavier and heavier. Letting the head and neck be soft and relaxed. Holding again for 3 deep breaths. Every inhale, sweeping up anything no longer serving. Every exhale getting heavier. Letting go. 2. 1 more breath. Slowly, slowly. Again, we come up either rounding through the spine or using one hand to grab the edge, extend the legs nice and wide. Coming back into our straddle sit. Finding the breath. Bend the knees, use the hands to pull those edges away from the heels, letting each foot and shin fall out. Find those playful feet. And we're going to come out the same way we came in, reaching up, grabbing that middle portion like a rope. Slide the hands down, press the hammock away, and lift the left leg up and over. Right arm reaches around, give the hammock a nice big hug, and just like you're sitting in an awkward swing, shimmy until you find that center. Once you've found your center, we're going to come out through what's called a rocking cradle dismount. Hands reach up, nice and high, grab like a rope. Lean back, toes are going to kick up towards the sky, and then feet down to the floor. I'll sometimes say toes to nose, feet to floor, and that is like your lever action to come down to the ground. We're going to then bring the hammock right below the scapula, right below those shoulders. Stand below your plumb line, that center point between your two connections, and we're going to bring the heels together, the big toes together, legs together, everything super glued, nice and tight together. Get a little bend in your knees, and we're going to do a trust fall, sinking down and back, extending long through the legs. Again, the hammock is right below the shoulder blades. If it feels like it slides up into the armpits, grab up high, bend the knees, and readjust. Find that sweet spot. Hug it in right about mid-back, and then bend the knees, sink down and back. You can think broad line. From here, we're going to bring hands up overhead. Inhale and lengthen into mountain peak. Ears are in between the biceps. One long line from the toes to the fingertips. On the exhale, bend the knees, elbows wide, thumbs to forehead. third eye prayer. Inhale, lengthen for mountain peak. Exhale, third eye prayer. Inhale for mountain peak. Exhale, third eye prayer. Inhale, mountain peak. Reach nice and long. Look up to your thumbs and start to draw a line down the center of the room, reaching back. Slowly, slowly come back up. That is our crescent moon. It's a heart-opening back bend. We'll do it again, not to worry. We'll move into our third eye prayer. Find that breath. And again, inhale, lengthen into mountain peak, crescent moon. Listen to your body. Think about lifting through the heart first. Drawing a line. Maybe it's a baby back bend today. Maybe you can go deeper. Maybe you can go deeper. Maybe the fingers point to the back of the room. Slowly come up. And we're going to bend the knees, grab like a rope, pull ourselves up to a stand. Nicely done. Bring the hammock forward in front of you. Legs are going to come nice and wide. Toes can point slightly outward or feet can be parallel, whichever feels best in your body. Hands are going to come out wider than the shoulders, as wide as you can get the hands to go to create tension. If we bend at the elbows or break at the wrists, we start to create slacks. We want to make sure we're keeping strong tension in the hammock at all times here. We're going to go for some egg beaters, working those shoulders this morning. So go ahead and turn towards the right. We're going to use rights and lefts. So again, identify the right of your room, or you can call it whatever there is in your room. And then hinge at the hips, reach forward. Getting this nice stretch. Finding your breath. Strong wrists, strong arms. Grounding through the feet. One long line from the tailbone to the crown of the head, neutral spine. Reach the fingers and the knuckles forward, coming into our center. And then towards the left. And then without bending the elbows or breaking at the wrists, we're going to pull the hammock in towards us, come up with a neutral spine, come back to center. We're going to do that again. So reaching to the right, finding that breath. Center, left, stand and center. To the right, center, left, stand and center. And we're going to go all the way around. Big giant circles, press down through the feet, finding that stability. And finding this lubrication in the shoulder joints. Keep those arms nice and strong. If you notice that you're bending the elbows and pulling the hammock in towards the chest, this is not doing anything for your shoulders. So really drawing those big circles. Imagine you're trying to stir a big giant pot in front of you. You're pulling those shoulders back. Keep breathing. Let's go for one more. And when you come up to stand, if you need to adjust your feet, feel free. We're going to continue to hold the hammock like a rope. Hands go wide. Create that tension. And we're going to baby step to the opposite direction. So leaning towards the left this time. Breathing into those shoulders. Center. To the right. Stand and center. To the left. Center. Right. Stand and center. To the left. Center. To the right. Stand and center. Let's go all the way around. Big giant circles. Listening to the body, taking your time, Imagining you're drawing a big giant circle on the floor. Where you're baking a cake and we're stirring all of that batter. It's a giant cake. And keep breathing. These are our egg beaters. Lubricating those shoulder joints. Let's go for one last one. Taking a pause when you come back to center. Step or hop the feet together. Nice. We're going to make our way into our first inversion today. I would like to walk you through one of my favorites. So we're going to find the edges, spread your hammock out, give it a shake or a wave, make sure there's no wrinkles, twists, or folds. I've got a little twist, so I'm going to untwist it. I'm going to grab one edge, one hand, the opposite hand grabs the opposite edge, and we bring those edges together in the center, giving them a kiss together. Once they kiss together, we pinch those open end edges so you can actually talk with those edges. Wah, 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 wah. We're going to pinch those edges together and draw them towards the back of the room. Using your thumb to grab the front edge, we now have our hammock. It's folded in hammock. We now have a folded hammock. So this is our folded hammock pouch wrap that we're going to move into. Step towards the front of the room. Place your thumbs and make sure you have that thumb in the folded edge. Thumbs in the folded edge. Spread the thumbs out wider than the hips. Grab one gather and take a step below your plumb line. Push down, come up onto your toes, lift one leg and sit inside, bringing that front edge to the back of the knees. From here, we're going to reach the hands up, high five, slide the thumbs down and find what we call our back belt line. Now I'm going to turn around so you can actually see what that looks like. So I'm going to bring my folded edge towards the front, thumbs inside, spreading the thumbs out wider than the hips. I grab my one gather, step below my plumb line, push down, lift the legs, sit inside, bringing that front edge to the back of the knees. Hands are going to high five, slide the hands down, and the thumbs are going to find my hip bones. I'm using the webbing between my index finger and my thumb to press down and forward. This is our back belt line. The back belt line, you want to make sure that the whole hammock is right at the sacrum. And your sacrum, if you don't know, is this fusion of bones, a shape similar to a triangle, like an upside down triangle. So you can bring your fingers, your index fingers, kind of to the tip of your butt crack, and then your thumbs together, and this is that zone that we want the hammock to be at. This is the back belt line. So we find our thumbs at the hips. Hammock is now established at the back belt line. Chin is going to come to chest, and I'm going to round through the spine, leaning back. As I lean back, I extend my legs long. The hammock catches right at those hip bones. I can grab like a rope from here. And then I'm going to bring my legs wide. As my legs go wide, my hands slide down. Bend the knees, feet together. Round of applause. That means that you've made it. Hands come down into Spider-Man holding. Back of the hands to the floor, palms to the sky. Feet are together. And if you can't get your feet to come together, all good. Maybe you hook them. Even if you had your legs go out wide, you're going to be just fine, but we prefer for the feet to be together. Feet together, this creates our trapeze lock. And you are safe to just let go here. Find your breath and really allow yourself to take in this amazing opportunity to be upside down, flipping your energy, flipping your perspective. And when we go upside down, there are so many things going on in the body and the mind. The mind sometimes wants to take over all this mental chatter, which we call vritti. It's like a whirlpool of thoughts. And just know the mind is actually a liar. So we just notice and observe, but just continue to breathe, to be with whatever is here for you. If you need to come up at any point in time, bring your chin to chest, reach up like you're doing a sit-up, look up to your belly button, grab in between the knees, and then bring the legs out, wide legs together, come together. If you are staying in your inversion, just stay and hang here. We typically hold into our inversions anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, really giving the body the opportunity to accept all of these amazing benefits, getting that release of our happy hormones, releasing dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and your endorphins all swirling around. And as you rest here, I invite you to let the shoulders soften, let the head and neck be relaxed. Again, feet together. You can think about drawing those heels down towards the pelvis, knees nice and wide to the walls. Spine decompressing. Head and neck soft, heavy, and relaxed. Using your breath to guide you. This is our Spider-Man holding inversion. And as we continue to breathe and relax into the posture, just imagine how each vertebral disc within the spine is finding its place, aligning, rehydrating, getting this nice synovial fluid pumping through. Resetting all of your organs so we can come up feeling healthier, happier, and taller. Let's take one more breath here. Bring your chin to chest. We're going to come up, looking up towards the belly button, grab in between the knees. Big wide straddle. Bring the knees in, pull yourself up, and bring that front edge to the back of the knees. Hug yourself in so that the elbows catch. And take a lean forward for floating child's pose. Another option here is to let the feet drop to the ground, grab like a rope, and come to a stand. Hammock will come right below those shoulder blades, and you can bend the knees, resting in a chillax pose where the head just rests over the hands. Or another option is to float forward, letting the hammock catch at the shoulders. So whatever resting pose calls to you, find that position now. And I'll show again those resting poses so you can see. So again, the hammock's right below the shoulders, knees bend. This is chillax. Head resting over the hands. Or taking a lean forward. Letting the body accept all of those benefits. Thank yourself for taking that time to go upside down. Continuing to breathe. We always want to take time in a counter pose so that the body can really come back. You might feel a little lightheaded. You might feel a little bit of nauseousness. If you have some peppermint on hand, it's always a good idea to maybe put a little on your temples, the back of the neck, or just to breathe. This too will pass, and it does get easier and easier. When you're ready, we're going to slowly come all the way back up to a stand. Awesome. From here, we're going to leave the hammock back behind. Hands are going to come out to a T. Make sure your hammock is behind you. We don't want to have our hands looped through. Very easy to do that. So we're going to make sure the hammock's behind. Arms come out slightly, fingers pointing to the floor. And then we're going to loop the hands out and around and then through like we're putting our hands in our back pockets. It's going to look like this. And then from here, we're going to do that one more time. Each hand loops through, clasping the fingers together, creating a Houdini wrap. So the hands are going to look like this. The hands are wrapped up tight and clasped together. And it's all wrapped up at the forearms. From here, we're going to open up through those shoulders. If you're really tight in your shoulders, please be mindful. Stand nice and tall below your plumb line, shoulder blades kiss together, and just explore with extending the arms back. Nice. I'm going to switch positions so you can see what this looks like. So again, hands out and around, back pockets, looping each hand through, clasping the fingers, standing nice and tall, shoulder blades together, arms extended back. If that is enough for you in your shoulders, stay here and just breathe. Soften anytime you need to take a break, monitoring your resistance, and then try again if you need to continue to explore. If this feels like you can go deeper, we're going to take a step forward with the right leg, coming into a lunge. So we're finding that strong foundation. The knee is stacked over the ankle, both feet connected to the floor. We're lengthening through the spine. Arms extend back, hinge at the hip, and slowly come forward. Taking a pause wherever you need to pause. If you're able to go down to the point where the belly comes to the thigh, take a moment to pause here and let the head and neck soften and relax. Think about the thighs scissoring in towards one another here. And just breathe. The hammock is going to create a tourniquet-like effect, cutting off the blood supply. And this is amazing for anyone at computers for a lot of the time. It's an amazing one for anyone with carpal tunnel or tendonitis. You are going to feel some tingling, some tightening, all good. Keep that breath moving. Holding here for 3, 2, check in with your knee. Make sure it's never going past your toes. It stays stacked over the ankle. Strong foundation. One more breath here. And slowly peel the belly away from the thigh. Keep that neutral spine. Hinge at the hips and come all the way back up to a stand. And then we're going to step that foot back. I'm going to switch sides. You stay exactly where you are. Take a little breather, break. I'm going to let you see at this direction what the next leg looks like. So we're going to do the same thing, of course, finding balance. So we start with just softening, finding the breath. Extend the arms, shoulder blades kiss together. Take a lunge forward with your left leg. And again, find that footing. Knee is stacked over the ankle. Both feet rooted into the earth. Hips are square to the front of the room. Shoulders square to the front of the room. Arms extended. Lengthen through the spine and slowly hinge at the hips. Maybe you pause. Maybe you keep going. Find where you're at. If the belly is able to come to the thigh, let the head and neck soften and relax. Breathing here. Thighs scissoring in towards one another. Creating space in the shoulders. Releasing tension in the wrists. Holding for 3. 2. 1. Slowly, slowly lift through the spine. Step the feet back, come back to center, soften the arms, and just unravel, coming out, taking a moment of pause, maybe opening and closing the fist, shaking out those wrists, feel all of that blood returning to you. We're going to bring the hammock up over the shoulders, balancing it out. Like you have a little towel wrapped around the neck. Working hard at the gym today. We're going to bring arms up overhead and through the center, like you're taking a dive through the center, out to a T, and you'll feel like you have a little halter top on. We're going to bring the arms out and around and through, out to a T. Give your shoulders a little shimmy here. Spread the fingers nice and wide and point your pinkies to the floor. We're going to get a nice heart opener for our yoke wrap, our pericardium stretch. Start to take baby steps forward until your body can't go any further. And then find your strong foundation. So if you need to take a few steps back or forward, find where you're at. If you feel like your hips are leaning forward, then bring that strong core in. Belly button towards the back of the spine. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Big toes turn slightly in towards one another. Hips stacked over the ankles, shoulders stacked over the hips. Fingers spread wide, opening that heart space. Finding your breath. The pericardium is a sac that surrounds the heart, keeping our blood pumping and flowing. So it's very important to know that we are creating healthy, happy hearts with this pose. I invite you to bring your right ear to your right shoulder, gaze down towards your armpit, and breathe here. Getting a nice stretch to the neck, releasing any tension here. You again will feel some tightening and tingling sensations. It's totally normal. And as we do heart openers, it can bring up a lot of stuff. So really allow yourself to be with whatever emotions come up here. You are safe. There's nothing wrong with you. Emotions are a good thing. If you have emotional releases at any time in these practices, you're doing the work. Congratulations. Celebrate that. One more breath here. Slowly bring the gaze back to center. Left ear to left shoulder, gaze down towards the armpit. Again, nice deep breaths. Opening that heart space, feel that expansiveness. One more breath. And slowly, slowly we bring the gaze back to center. Walking the feet back and unraveling. Coming all the way out. This time we're going to bring the hammock in front. Time for my absolute favorite pose and my number one pose that I guarantee is going to be a lifesaver for all of you that have hammocks. So please, if you have a hammock at home and you have the ability to do this every day, do it. Even though the first couple times, not gonna lie, can be very new sensations that you will feel. Just be with them, breathe. So there's lots of baby steps I'll walk you through. We're gonna start with hands a little wider than the hips. Start below your plumb line, push down, come up onto your toes. Super glue the hammock to the top of the leg line. Walk the feet forward until you can't go any further and let the heart come forward. Hinging at the hips, the hammock's gonna slide right below the hip bone. So if it's in the belly, take a moment to back off and start again. Again, it's pushing down up onto the toes, walking forward, hinging at the hips, heart forward. Arms are gonna come out to a T, and we're finding balance here. Forward leaning T. I like to weave in a little bit of energy medicine nowadays, so we're gonna start with creating these Celtic weaves, almost like you're creating a big giant infinity loop. And we're gonna weave that all the way down, coming forward, hanging heavy, finding the breath. On the next inhale, draw those big infinity loops up, lifting up through the heart, arms out, and we're cleansing our aura here with these Celtic weaves and finding balance. And we float down. Try to match your breath with the movement. As you inhale, come up. And as you exhale, float down. And then we're just gonna hang heavy. Walk your feet back until your fingertips can touch to the floor. And then walk your feet back even more until your palms come to the floor. And a little note here, this is essentially a downward facing dog, so you can bring your thumbs to your shoulders and drop them down to the floor. The fingers are going to point slightly outwards. Spread your fingers wide and imagine that your hands are being drilled down into the earth. So we're super gluing right at the knuckles, protecting our wrists. And from here, walk back even more, coming into that downward facing dog. All 10 toes connect. Maybe bend the knees, lift the hips, work the heels back towards the earth. Palms stay flat on the ground. Maybe give your hips a little wag here, side to side. Imagine the belly being pressed in towards the thighs. Head and neck is going to be soft and heavy like a bobblehead. And just explore with that downward dog. If that feels good for you here, we'll baby step by lifting one heel up towards the buttock and dropping down, doing the other heel. Maybe today you're just exploring here. And if you are in a position where this feels like a hurt so good, feel free to move into the full flying dog. So we're finding trust. One heel at a time, knees come together, heels towards the buttocks. Getting this nice deep tissue massage into the psoas muscles. And I'm going to show you a different angle just so you can see. Walking forward to tension, coming into that downward facing dog. One heel, other heel, both heels, and we lift. And from here, if you'd like, you can go into a sway. Maybe you imagine you have a pen in between your knees and you're drawing some big giant circles on the floor. And maybe you switch directions. And this is working into those psoas muscles, the king of all muscles, the muscle that gets you out of bed every day. It is also the muscles that hold all of our emotions, our stressors. And right now, above all, we need to work out any traumas, any stressors we've been holding here. It's time to let go. So just know you are doing some good work here today. Give yourself the ability to maybe hang heavy. If you are a little more advanced and you want to take this up a notch, go ahead and give yourself a hug. Coming into cannonball. If you like to spin, you can always bring the hands to the floor, twirl yourself, hug yourself, and go for a ride. Woo! If spinning's too much for you, hands to the floor, stop your spin. Just explore here. You can bring legs out wide, feet together, hands on the floor here, knees together for some clamshells, getting into those outer hips. So take your time to get curious. Keep breathing. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Drop the toes to the floor. Walk the feet up towards the hands until you can't walk any further, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Lift through the heart, arms out to a T, and drop your feet to the floor, coming to a stand. Give yourself a moment to breathe. Maybe give yourself some love taps, a little round of applause. Amazing job. Nice. And you may have a few bruises here if this is your first time. Know that that's normal. It will also go away. You've done good work. There's nothing wrong. All right. Let's move into our next inversion. I'm going to teach you one that involves a little more trust. So this is where we're going to have the whole hammock at that back belt line. So we start below our plumb line always. Hammock is right at the back belt line. I'm using that webbing between my thumb and index finger to push down and pull forward. And then I'm going to walk back to tension, keeping my hands low. I come up on my tiptoes. And then I tabletop myself right below the plumb line, belly below the plumb line. From here, notice my hands are still low. I'm going to reach up, big toes kiss together, legs go wide, bend the knees, clap the feet, and come into our inversion. If this feels like too much here for you, you are always welcome to bring the legs out wide, grab in between the knees, big toes together, climb up the hammock, knees together, feet to floor, and you'll take rest in that chillax pose. You can always do the same inversion that we did before if this is too intense for you. But again, as with everything with the hammock, it's not every day we have a hammock holding us, so really breathe into it. Give yourself a chance to feel into it. You've got this. So again, we're going to bring the whole hammock right to that back belt line, thumbs at the hip bones, walk back to tension, tabletop, hands slide up, big wide straddle, out and around, bend the knees, clap the feet, and take rest in Spider-Man holding. Again, same rules apply, head and neck, soften and relax, feet together, knees wide to the walls, and letting the spine just start to decompress once again. Use your breath here. We're closer to our fulcrum point, finding more trust, finding more balance. The hammock is massaging a little deeper into all these little spaces, right into the inner thigh. So it's helping to break up that fascia, our connective tissue, holding every muscle and every fiber of our being together. So important to give it that little bit of friction. It needs heat, friction, movement, hydration, all important. If you're really tight in your shoulders, this is a great opportunity to bring the hands behind the back, clasp the fingers, and extend the arms. Let those shoulder blades kiss together and let the hands just fall heavy. Breathing. If you need to come out, slow movements. Draw the hands back and towards the buttocks. Release. Spider-Man. We're going to hook our right foot, whichever foot, and extend the opposite leg out, coming into one-wing monkey. Point the toes or flex the foot. We're really sending this energy out from the hip through the toes. So you can imagine you have little laser beams shooting out through those toes. Pew, 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 pew. And if this feels like enough in one-wing monkey, just stay here, breathing. If you need to come back to our Spider-Man holding at any time, honor your body. Otherwise, we are going to go from one-wing monkey. Feel that intention, sending that energy out through the toes. I'm going to point my toes, rotate my hip in towards the midline, extending that leg long for Phoenix. Getting that really nice stretch through the quadricep, again for the psoas muscle, and then let the knee bend, leg hang heavy. Maybe this is enough here for you today. And if you want to go deeper, there are some options. So one option is to bring one hand back, grab a hold of the foot, press the foot into the hand, and let the leg get heavy. Maybe you imagine you have a sandbag resting on top of the thigh. Breathe here. Let that breath wash through the body like it's sweeping up anything no longer serving any tension and letting it go. If you feel shaking, trembling, again, all normal, all good. If you'd like to go deeper, you can bring the other hand out and around, clasping the hands around the foot, pressing the foot into the hands, getting even deeper of a stretch. And if it's too much, just back off. Breathe here, holding for 3, 2, 1. Release any grip. Extend that leg long for Phoenix. Sweep that leg out and around. Bend the knee and hook the foot. We're going to switch sides. Opposite leg comes out for one-wing monkey. Same thing on this side. Point and flex. There's no rush into the pose. Listen to all those subtleties. Feel what you feel. Listen to the body. Each side is different. If you need to stay here, stay here. If you'd like to go deeper, send that energy out through the toes, point or flex, and sweep the leg out and around, rotating that hip in towards the midline. Leg extends long for Phoenix. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If you'd like to go deeper, let the knee bend. Maybe one hand grabs. Maybe you're like, hell no. Listen to your body. Maybe both hands grab. You can even try clasping the fingers first, opening through those shoulders, and then grabbing the foot, pressing the foot into the hand. Holding here. Breathing. Releasing any tension, any pains, any stressors. Let them just fade away. Every breath. Feel free to scream, to let out any noise. Let it go. You got this. Hold for 3. Find that sense of ease starting to wash over you with every breath. 2. 1 more breath. And slowly release. Extend the leg long, sweep it out and around. Bend the knee. Give yourself another round of applause here. Nicely done. We're going to go for a knee squeeze today. So think about sliding the feet slightly up. And a knee squeeze is exactly what it sounds like. We're bringing the feet through and bringing those knees together, squeezing them together. Now today, your knee squeeze might look like this. It's like the ultimate thigh master. So think about you have an orange in between the knees and you're trying to squeeze all that fresh juice out of that orange. Make mama some juice today. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and release. Awesome job, everyone. We're going to come out chin to chest, look between, get your belly button and grab between the knees. Legs are going to go wide, big toes kiss together on the front of the hammock for saucer. Walk the hands up, slow movements. If you want that core challenge, eyes over the toes. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Knees together, feet to the floor. Let the hammock capture right below the shoulder blades and take rest for chillax pose or a forward lean. Always important to take that counter pose. Breathe here. Again, if you need some peppermint, feel free to grab some. Give your body this opportunity to accept all of those awesome benefits. Breathing in fresh oxygen. Exhaling, releasing those toxins that we just shook up. Totally normal if you feel little tingling sensations in the legs. And then we're going to bring the hands up, grab like a rope, pull yourself back up to a stand. Awesome job. Grab an edge. Give your hammock a nice big wave, shake it out. Turn towards the front of the room. Place the thumbs inside, spread them out, grab your 6 gathers. Take a step below the plumb line, push down, sit yourself inside. Nice. We're gonna bring our hands up, find the back edge, put on our angel wings where we press our hands into the edges, pressing towards the walls. And just lay all the way down, using your feet to kick the hammock out and away. Get nice and comfortable. Take rest in cocoon, our final resting position. Feel the sway of the hammock. Breathe. Nice, deep belly breaths. Inhaling, fill the belly, lungs, the chest. And exhale, open mouth, exhale, releasing any lingering toxins in the body. Let them go. Your hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. Maybe it's over the heart, over the throat, over the belly, the thighs. And just take this time to let go of all effort. We too are just like a computer. We need time to shut down and reboot so we can come up feeling more energized, ready to take on whatever life brings our way. rest in your cocoon. I will play you just a little song helping you to go a little deeper. Letting the mind just wander. Never attaching to any one thought. Just letting those thoughts come and go. Yourself permission to be here. Nothing to do, no demands, no judgments, no expectations. This is your time to be floating and free. slowly, slowly invite you to bring your awareness back into this space, back into this room. Take some deep cleansing breaths. Letting that breath be like a wave that washes over you. Washing away anything no longer serving. And as you feel ready, give the fingers and toes a little wiggle. Maybe move the body in any ways that feel good for you. Maybe that's a long stretch. Maybe it's getting wiggly. Maybe you just turn onto your right side, curling into a fetal position. Just taking some time to feel your practice integrated into the body. Coming back to your intention that you had set at the top of class. Remembering that you are amazing, full of unlimited value, and that you see the value in others. Let that value be known. Share your love, share your light. As you feel ready, I invite you to turn onto your back if you're not there already. Use your hands to grab the back edge, pulling yourself up to a seated position, and take a look from left to right, right to left, orienting yourself back into this space. Taking a mindful moment before rushing off into the day. Come out, we're going to reach the hands up, grab like a rope, rocking cradle dismount, toes to nose, feet to floor, coming to a stand, letting your feet be about hip width distance apart. Get a little bend in the knees, shoulders are going to come up towards the ears, get tight, 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 tight. And then exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears, standing tall. Feel those feet rooting down and feel your new body. This body that is now supercharged. Energy, light, love, gratitude, feeling empowered. Bringing hands to heart center, thank yourself for taking the time out of your busy day to do a practice. Even if it was for 5 minutes, 1 pose, 3 breaths. Thank yourself for doing your best. No better, no less. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed your practice today. I will be recording more videos and there is much to teach, so I would love to hear from you if you enjoyed this. If you didn't, any feedback is feedback and it's always appreciated. If you are struggling with certain things in your body, please let me know and I'd be happy to start designing some classes that are really geared around that. Today we really focused on shoulders and breathing because with COVID and all of the fears, getting into that heart space I feel is so important. And really encourage you to use your breath work, especially when we're wearing masks so long. Remember that you have the power to heal yourself. So one final tip I would love to share with you is to really create space in those lungs every day. breathing, feeling that heart open, the shoulders go back, create that space. Another thing you can do is a little energy medicine. So we're going to bring our hand to our opposite thumb. Thumb up the inside of the arm, all the way up to the shoulder, and then let it rest right in between the heart and the shoulder. This is our lung point. This is Chinese medicine. And what we're doing here is we're actually cleansing and clearing the meridian for the lung. And then we're going to bring the energy back in. So bringing from lung to thumb, sweeping off, lung to thumb, sweeping off, lung to thumb, sweeping off. And then we balance the other side. So thumb to lung, lung to thumb, lung to thumb, lung to thumb. Have your hands together, shake it off. You can also, if you're dealing with a lot of grief or sorrow, pull that grief and sorrow out from the heart center and pull it out, send it out. Thank it for how it served, as we need our pain and our sorrow and all these human experiences so we can evolve and grow. Everything is learning, even when it hurts. Breathe it in and know that this too will pass. So send it out, shake out the hands, release. Thank you, everyone.